lesbian detective. Unsolved cases. She's still missing. Yeah, they haven't found her yet. Well, let's talk about it.
They say he vanished without a trace. Could it be a psychotic break or a tragic accident? Police don't know where the body went. Unsolved murders, body still missing. That's unheard. Where's the witness? Lesbian detectives, what's going on? City on high alert, this out the norm. He did what, the who? Man, that ain't real, these crimes ain't true. Then come uncover these theories with us. We live right now, tuning in is a must.
Right now, lesbian detective. We about to start the show, so get your popcorn ready, let's go. Pay attention to the message I present to you, the lesbian detectives.
This is Lesbian Detectives. I'm Sierra.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And we are here to talk about missing and unsolved murders.
We are discussing cases you have forgotten about or never even heard of.
So sit back, relax, and let's start this podcast. Welcome back, everybody. As I said in the last episode, we are doing 2 episodes in one day, recording-wise. You guys will get the episodes one Friday and next Friday. So you see me with the same...
Friday after next.
Friday after next. So if you see me with the same outfit on, just know I record this. We took a break, we ate, we came right back because we're going on vacation and we wanted to make sure these episodes get out while we on vacation. And I'm so excited. Please watch out for all our social medias because they will be posted on there. Well, guys, this episode, let me tell you something. I know my wife asks so many questions and detailed questions. With this episode, I did so much research on not even this case, but like cases that came together. Like it might be a serial killer. Let me tell you something. I got a map out. I was doing my dang work on this one. So I'm very proud of this little episode. So
let's see how good you know me.
Oh, I know you. I'm not even going to tell her the things I look up until she asks me. Sometimes she asks me questions. I'm like, man, like I didn't think of that. But I got it, guys. I got it. So
we'll see.
We'll see. Now let's get into the episode. It was a cold December morning in a quiet, ordinary town. The streets were empty, safe. A young girl left her home, walking the familiar path to school. A path she had taken countless times before. But that morning, something went terribly wrong. She never arrived. For hours, people searched, calling out her name through the empty streets and darkening alleyways. Parks were scoured. Cemeteries were combed. Riverbanks and wooded areas were explored. But there was no signs of her. Then months later, her body was discovered, far from where she had disappeared. The cause of death was violent, and the crime had left the entire community reeling. Questions lingered. How could someone take a child from a familiar, safe path and commit such a heinous crime? Despite countless leads, tips, and theories, the case remains unsolved. The identity of her killer is still unknown. Someone out there knows the truth, and yet it has remained hidden, waiting. Tonight, we unravel the story of a young life stolen too soon. We examine the evidence, the suspects, and the chilling mystery that still surrounded this unsolved unaliving. This is the case of Barbara Ann Barnes. Barbara Ann Barnes was born on August 12, 1982 in Ohio. She had long brown hair, soft blue eyes, and a quiet, gentle demeanor that drew people to her without her even trying. Friends called her Barbie, a nickname that hinted at a sweet, approachable personality. But Barbara was also thoughtful. She excelled in school, loved singing in the choir, and often preferred to listen rather than speak. A girl who observed the world around her. Her life, however, was not without pain. In 1989, when Barbara was just 7 years old, her father was shot and killed. The loss of her father left a void that could never be filled. After his death, Barbara lived with her mother, Kathy Barnes, and her younger siblings, navigating the ups and downs without her father's guidance. By December 1995, Barbara was in the 8th grade. Her days followed a familiar routine. Wake up early, grab her backpack, and walk to school along the same street she had traveled countless times, usually with her classmate by her side, though sometimes she walks alone. These walks were ordinary, mundane, the kind of everyday moment that never hit at the darkness that could lie just around the corner. On the morning of December 7, 1995, Barbara left her home as usual. The sky was gray, the cold breeze against her face. Around 7:35 a.m., one of her classmates, Justin, saw her walking ahead of him on Brandy Avenue. She seemed as she always did, quiet, thoughtful, on her way to school. But that morning, Barbara would never reach her destination. The walk, ordinary as it seemed, became her last. Hours passed. When Barbara didn't return home, her mother grew anxious. The school had attempted to reach her, alerting her that Barbara was not in class that morning. But Kathy had missed their call. By 3 p.m., panic set in. Barbara was officially missing. Authorities immediately began a search. Volunteers combed the streets of Steubenville. Police and family members checked parks, cemeteries, riverbanks, and wooded areas near where Barbara had been last seen. They searched under cold winter trees, through mud, and along frozen riverbanks, calling her name, hoping for even the faintest sight of her. But Barbara was gone. The FBI joined the investigation, concerned she might have been abducted and transported across state lines. Every lead, no matter how small, was followed. Days turned into weeks, and the fear that Barbara may never be found alive became a dark shadow over the town. On February 27, 1996, near Clinton, Pennsylvania, roughly 30 miles from Steubenville, near the Pennsylvania International Airport, discovered Barbara's body in a shallow riverbed. The impact on the community was immediate. Steubenville had hoped for Barbara's safe return. Now the reality of the murder devastated her family and friends. Her mother, Kathy, and her younger siblings were left to grieve a daughter and sister they could never bring back. Teachers, classmates, and her neighbors mourned, asking the same question that remains unanswered to this day. Who could done something like this? Why her? Why a child?
Investigators chased every lead. Tips poured in from across Ohio and even beyond. At one point, a psychic became involved, claiming visions of Barbara and her killer. Police interviewed numerous suspects, conducted polygraph tests, and followed every promising avenue, but none yielded the answers they desperately sought. Suspicion focused on several individuals. Barbara's uncle, Louis Voice, lived near the location where her body was found. He failed a polygraph test, though the results were inadmissible in court. Soil samples from his property did not match the creek bed where Barbara's body was discovered, complicating the case. Friends of Boyce defended him, insisting he could never harm a child. Others believed the proximity of his property and the failed polygraph made him a prime suspect. There was also a theory that a Florida man who had been in Steubenville at the time of Barbara's disappearance could have been involved. However, local law enforcement largely believed that the perpetrator was someone from the area, someone who knew the streets and could move undetected. Journalist James Renner proposed another chilling theory. Barbara's murder may have been connected to the unsolved cases involving young girls around the same time. Names like Amy Mohavik, Deborah K. Smith, Tina Harmon, and Krista Harrison come to mind. Could one perpetrator have terrorized children across multiple states? leaving a trail of grief and unanswered questions in their wake. Barbara had been strangled. She had been sexually assaulted. The water had partially washed away the mud covering her body, leaving the surveyors stunned and horrified. What began as a missing person case became a homicide investigation overnight. Despite decades passing, the investigation continues. Officers and detectives revisit all leads, re-examine evidence, and hope that someone, anyone, will come forward with the missing piece of the puzzle. Officer Villanagma, who worked the case closely, reflected on the horror of what happened. I can't think of another crime that's more horrendous than to do something to a child like that. If you can do what they did to that kid, you can do anything to anybody. And yet, even after all this time, the case remains open. Viagma added, everyone that's involved in this case is 99.9% sure who the perpetrator is, but they just can't get that one thing to lock the door on the case. Somebody knows something. Barbara Barnes was only 13. She had a bright mind, a gentle soul, and a life that was cruelly taken before it had a chance to blossom. Her story reminds us that even in small towns, seemingly safe and ordinary, darkness can hide just beneath the surface, and it reminds us that the search for justice must never end. If you have any information regarding Barbara Barnes' case, please contact the Steubenville Police Department or the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. Someone out there knows something, and Barbara deserves justice. Remember Barbara, remember her life, remember her story. Because even decades later, the search for truth continues, and one day, justice may finally be served. Before we end this case, let's remember the young girl that lost her life, Barbara Barnes. She was only 13 years old, a bright, gentle girl whose life was stolen far too soon. She had long brown hair, soft blue eyes, and a quiet spirit that touched those around her. She loved school, singing in the choir, and spending time with her family. Her murder remained unsolved, and the questions lingered. Who took her? Why? And why had justice been so elusive? We remember Barbara not just as a victim, but as a girl full of potential, hope, and life. And we remember the other young girls whose names echo in connection to the case. Amy Mohovic, Deborah K. Smith, Tina Harmon, and Krista Harrison. Each one a reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of never giving up in the search for truth. Somebody knows something. If you do, speak up. Barbara Barnes and all the young girls whose lives were cut short deserve justice, and they deserve to be remembered. Remember them, honor them, and never forget. This is the case of Barbara Barnes. Now let's get into some theories.
Theories.
Let's get into some theories. Let's get into some theories. Everyone is a suspect until proven guilty. Let's get into some theories. Lesbian detectives. What type of thoughts you thinking? What theories running through your mind? I'm thinking all types of suspicion. Uncover the truth, what we can find. Witness say they saw somebody creeping out the back door. What you think they did it for? That's so crazy, I'm not sure. They found a car, where could she be? Here go another puzzle piece. Research and do your history. It's plenty unsolved mysteries. Everyone is a suspect until proven guilty. Let's get into some theories, yeah. Let's get into some theories. Let's get into some theories. Everyone is a suspect until proven guilty. Let's get into some theories. Let's be detectives.
You or me?
Good.
So if you watch on YouTube, you see that my computer is still out because I took a lot of notes and I did a lot of research. So in case my wife have the questions that I know she might have, I have them already on deck. So with this case, it's hard. I don't think it's her uncle. I do think it's a stranger. I think time she turned that corner, somebody snatched her. They said it takes 0.5 seconds to kidnap somebody. And I think this is somebody that have done this so many times. To me, if her uncle drove 30 miles to kidnap her and unalive her and essay her, he's not going to drop her off close by his house. He did all that work just to get caught like that. To me, he's going to drop her off somewhere close to the house, because that makes no sense to me. I don't think it's her uncle. I do think it's a serial killer. It's a lot of, around that time, it was so many young girls getting taken left and right. It was ridiculous that these kids was like, most of them was walking home from school or to school, getting kidnapped, like out of nowhere. So I think it was a serial killer.
So I want to know how they're tying her case to the other 4 girls. Like, what similar?
So I'm glad you asked, because I felt like it was going to ask me. So I did my research and I looked up each case. I wanted to know what year that was, like the year, the month, and their age that they went missing. How far was it from each other person where they stayed at? So the first victim on the list was Tina. She was 10 years old. She went missing October the 29th through the 30th, 1981. Lodi, Ohio. She was last seen near her home. And the next person was Krista. She was 11 years old. She went missing on July the 17th, 1982. But from where she was taken from and was from Tina was taken from was actually, I did the math, 65 miles apart. So when I see that, I think of a truck driver. And also, these girls are almost the same age. The only person who was slightly different was Barbara. Barbara was 13. The other ones were like 10 and 11.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, next person is Debbie. She went missing on June the 25th, 1983. Between her and Krista, it was 35 miles apart.
It's all in Ohio?
All in Ohio. All in Ohio. So to me, I have friends and family members that are truck drivers. They will have that same route. Like my uncle-in-law, he stays in Tennessee. He would do like, the farthest he would do is like 50 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
And Amy, she was 10. October the 27th, 1989, that's when she went missing. And from her and Deborah was 125 miles apart. So that's a big, distance. Then Barbara, she was 13. December the 7th, 1995, that was 110 miles between her and Amy. I have done so much research about pedos, and they have an age. They have age, and they have girls or boys that they like to look at. Basically, they have, like, if they have brown hair and blue eyes, or brown hair and brown eyes, they have a type. So, and they also have an age. Sometimes it's like 10 or 12. They won't go off the age. The age is very important to them, weirdos. But I don't see Barbara fitting that. I don't see it.
Well, maybe she looked like a 10, 11-year-old. She just happened to be 13.
I can kind of see that a little bit. But one thing I noticed, they all had brown hair. Amy had brown hair, but she had like kind of like a little blondish in it a little bit. But it seemed like she kind of dyed it. The first 3 victims, Tina, Christy, and Debbie. Those 3 victims, I can kind of see being unalived by the same person. But Amy and Barbara, I don't see them together with the other ones. A lot of people put those girls together like, okay, probably the same person. But for some reason, I don't see it. Probably the distance, but I'm like, if he's a truck driver and he's have this route, but for some reason, I just don't see those last 2 with the top 3. I don't. And I have done a lot of research trying to see if I can see anything, but I really don't. I mean, Barbara was older than them. She lived not the farthest, but I don't know, she just didn't flow to me a little bit. I do think the other threes might been, the other 3 might been unalive by the same person, probably a serial killer. I do think that. I think it was a truck driver. But Barbara, I don't see her matching. And a lot of people do add her case to these girls. They do say, hey, what if was killed by the same person? I don't see it personally. I understand why people put their cases together. Same time period. But it was hard because the last person, Amy, was unalive and taken in 1989. Then Barbara was in 1995. That's a
big break.
I mean, he could have been in jail. We don't know. He could have been in jail. That's why it was a break. Or he lost his job. That's why, because I'm saying if he was a truck driver, he wouldn't be on the road. But to me, I do think the person who unalived Barbara was a stranger to her. I think this person might have done this many, many times before. Do I think she goes with these girls? No, I don't. Probably the age, the distance, I don't. But I do think she was killed by a serial killer, but not with these other girls. That's what I mean, I don't know for sure. I don't know. I'm not a police officer, not detectives, but doing the research and looking at the other girls and their ages, I don't see it. What do you think?
Honestly, I don't have so much information. I do see how they think they're linked because of the hair type and the proximity.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I don't have too much information. The boy that was seeing her walk to school,
Mm-hmm.
if he could have seen if she got in the car or if she took the wrong turn or something. But no, he just said that he saw her walking towards school.
Mm-hmm.
There was no other clue to hint at what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the other cases that we've done, we've seen like a man or, somebody, a type of vehicle, but we don't have anything.
I mean, there's a lot of cases out there, though. And that's hard because so many cases have no information. I felt like the boy, I wonder if it's been so long, but if he can talk to the police and really describe that day. Like, I wish the police really talked to him because he was the last person to see her. Like, I watch a lot of crime shows, and sometimes when they talk to the last person that saw the victim, they will really like make that person like think of like the sounds they heard, the move. They will really question them, like make them picture everything, like even the smallest itty bitty thing they would have asked.
Yeah, I saw an experiment though, but the human mind is very
Tricky.
yes. So even after minutes, like you don't exactly remember everything, and you miss a lot of things when you're not looking for them.
Mm-hmm.
So
And he was a kid, so
yeah,
like, what if they drove past? He didn't even notice.
all of these victims were also assayed.
Mm-hmm.
Were they like tortured the same way or tied up? Like they had. If it is a serial killer, they have like a certain way that they like to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, I need more information.
By each person, by each girl.
Yeah.
the first thing I say, like, I see him. But Amy, they don't put her with the other girls. They say like it's somebody else. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see her with them.
And then were they all abducted while they were going to school? Or were they abducted at a park? Like
They was all going, like, leaving their house.
by themselves.
Mm-hmm. During Barbara case, I learned about these 3 other girls, and I'm like, oh my God, they so similar in so many ways. And seeing like, okay, could it be killed by the same person? I really want to sit down, like, go through articles, go through newspapers, and see if, I'm not a police officer, but see if I can see any type of
Relevance
yes,
or how they're linked.
yes. Like, it's gonna take me a while, but that case will be coming soon. It's gonna be they're probably gonna be like a part 1, part 2 episode because it's gonna be a long one. But that case will come soon. Like Amy, like I said, Amy and Barbara, I don't see them, but those 3 for some reason, I do see. I really do for some reason. And like that case is calling me right now. So it's gonna be probably after the New Year's because we have so many vacations. But yeah, Barbara, I think it's a stranger. I think it's a stranger. I remember so many, like, my mom used to tell me about stranger danger. She like, you could turn that corner and somebody could be waiting right there at that corner for you and could easily snatch you. And I feel like with cases like that, I always feel like it's 2 people because somebody have to drive and somebody have to snatch and hold the girl down. So
unless they use some substance to put them to sleep.
Yeah, but that's a busy morning. Like, a lot of kids walk into school, like that's what I'm saying. It has to be quick. It has to be a quick action. And for somebody to take her so fast, because you got little Justin walking. Like, he's not that far behind.
I mean, I've seen a lot of soap operas and they would get, I don't know if it's alcohol or something.
Yeah, I know what
they
you're
get
talking
a
about.
rag and then they just wait till they pass out type thing. So doesn't necessarily take two people. I could understand if they abducted her for, human trafficking,
Mm-hmm.
but then they wouldn't have really found her body that soon.
Yeah. And I wonder what's the FBI thing, because for the FBI to come and say, hey, we think they crossed state line, they knew something. I thought the FBI was holding something back.
Mm-hmm.
For them to come and say, yeah, she probably crossed state lines, which she kind of did. So it's like, why would you think that? Like, what made, like, did you see this case again? Like, is it another little girl that's similar to her, or was it the same way she was? She crossed state line. Like, what did you see in Barbara case that make you think that? I mean, it's a possibility, but for you to come and say, like, yeah, this happened, I wonder what their thinking process was.
Yeah.
But guys, that episode that I'm telling you about, I'm going to do my big one on that one. I'm really going to do all the research because I really, really want. I feel like this is the first time I say, like, hey, like, these cases may be linked. I've never really said that, but for some reason, this one, it's inside me. But guys, tell us your chain of thought, your theories on this case. What do you think? Do you think it probably was a serial killer, or do you think all these girls are tied together? Let me know. I want to hear. Or do you think it was the uncle? Let me know. I want to hear your chain of thoughts. We are on all podcast platforms. Please give us a 5-star rating. We are on all social media platforms, so come check us out. We are on YouTube, so like, comment, and subscribe. This is Lesbian Detectives. I'm Sierra.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And don't forget, everybody's a suspect.
So proven innocent.
Peace out. Happy holidays.
Lesbian detectives. Unsolved cases. She's still missing. Yeah, they haven't found her yet. Well, let's talk about it.
They say he vanished without a trace. Could it be a psychotic break or a tragic accident? Police don't know where the body went. Unsolved murders, body still missing. That's unheard. Where's the witness? Lesbian detectives, what's going on? City on high alert, this out the norm. He did what, the who? Man, that ain't real, these crimes ain't true. Then come uncover these theories with us. We live right now, tuning in is a must.
Right now. Lesbian detective. We about to start the show, so get your popcorn ready to go. Pay attention to the message I present to you, the Lesbian Detectives.